Hello dear viewers, in today's story, Jack bravely brought Tu Tien, the person he cherishes, into the company to embark on a new journey as a cleaning staff, defying the whispers and prejudices from his colleagues. Tu Tien, with her determination to overcome a past filled with self-doubt, left an initial mark with her warm smile and sincere effort, while Jack sealed a crucial contract, solidifying the company's standing thanks to his mother's kindness. However, a dark conspiracy brewed by Jack's private secretary, who has secretly betrayed him for some time, is quietly plotting his downfall, ready to destroy even Tu Tien to achieve her ambitions. The story closes with a fragile hope as Jack and Tu Tien face this challenge, but this scheme might be uncovered, leading to justice and love prevailing. If you enjoy thrilling dramas packed with emotion, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to not miss the next episodes. The morning video sprang to life with Tu Tien's luminous smile, her voice a soothing serenade that wove through the tender light of dawn, slicing through the quiet like a gentle zephyr carrying hope. Good morning, everyone. Wishing you a day brimming with peace and boundless joy, she greeted, her tone a warm embrace despite the oppressive heat that draped the land like a heavy cloak, beads of sweat already tracing paths down her sun-kissed face. She shared how the relentless sun had forced her to gulp down a hurried breakfast, her stomach protesting as she raced against time to harvest the day's vegetables before the heat morphed into an unyielding tyrant. With tender devotion, she scooped generous portions into her loyal dog's bowl, its tail wagging with unrestrained delight like a metronome of gratitude, before slipping into her weathered boots, lacing them with care. She adjusted her wide-brimmed hat, readying herself for a whirlwind day of toil on the farm, tending to rows of vibrant crops, nurturing clucking hens, feeding grunting pigs, and dreaming of the market's lively hum, her spirit a radiant beacon of resilience and quiet ambition. Across town, Jack rose with the first golden rays, his steps deliberate and heavy with purpose as he entered the kitchen, offering his mother a tired yet resolute smile that masked the storm within. "Morning, Mom," he said, his voice a tapestry of exhaustion and determination, the weight of his new role pressing against his shoulders. The new position at the company's a tempest, higher stakes, a relentless tide of pressure, but I'll pour every ounce of my soul into it. I might stay at the office more often, just to keep the ship steady. His mother nodded, her eyes softening with a mother's intuitive worry, pouring him a steaming cup of tea as she listened intently. He shifted to Tu Tien, his tone warming with a blend of affection and reverence. She's still anchored to the farm, planting seeds with calloused hands, raising livestock with a mother's touch, braving the markets with her wares. I honor her fierce passion, her love for that life, but I'm set on gently coaxing her into the company, letting her find her footing step by step, like a seedling reaching for the sun. He pulled a sleek new phone from his pocket, a gleaming bridge between their disparate worlds, his fingers tracing its edges. I bought this for her, spent hours teaching her to navigate its mysteries. Now we're always a call away, a lifeline in the chaos. Relief softened his rugged features as he added, "The thugs tied to Deep, including that venomous Hung, are finally caged. Finally, a shred of peace for Tu Tien to breathe." On their budding romance he paused, his voice dipping into a tender hush. "We're still tracing the edges of it, exploring its depths. She's tangled in the thorns of her past, wrestling with shadows of self-doubt that dim her light, so I'm giving her the space to heal, to bloom at her own pace." His mother's face glowed with maternal approval, her hands clasping his. "I'm your biggest cheerleader. May your hearts align and lead you both to a happiness that endures." As his mother stepped into the crisp morning air to fetch a jug of water, a frown creased her weathered brow, She'd forgotten to ask Jack for Tu Tien's new number, a small oversight that nagged at her like a persistent fly. Her thoughts scattered like leaves in the wind when a frail elderly woman stumbled into view, her frail frame buckling as she clutched her chest with a gasp, her face etched with the sharp lines of agony. "Help me, please, I beg you," she wheezed, her voice a fragile thread on the verge of snapping, her eyes wide with panic. Without a heartbeat's hesitation, Jack's mother lunged forward, her hands steady as steel despite the rush, rummaging through the woman's trembling bag to retrieve a life-saving pill, offering it with a glass of water she'd carried from home. "Take this, breathe deep, stay with me, you're not alone," she urged, her voice a calm anchor in the storm, her gaze locked on the woman's paling face. The color returned slowly, a faint flush creeping back as the woman's breath evened out, her voice a whisper of gratitude. "My home's just beyond that bend. No hospital, thank the heavens, just rest." Grateful tears welled in her rheumy eyes as she accepted Jack's mother's business card, her gnarled fingers tracing the embossed letters. "Call if you ever need me, day or night," she insisted, watching the woman shuffle home with a cane's tentative support, her quiet heroism a silent triumph against the morning's unexpected trial. Back at the farm, Tu Tien wielded her sturdy basket with the grace of a seasoned artisan, harvesting plump red pumpkins that glowed like rubies under the sun's relentless gaze. She ran her hands over their smooth, taut skins, a gleam of pride igniting her eyes as she inspected each one for perfection. Within the polished expanse of the office, a subtle tension crackled like static in the air as Thuong balanced a tray of steaming coffee, her steps cautious and measured under the relentless barrage of her colleagues' taunting jabs that ricocheted off the walls. "Look at Thuong playing the devoted servant, scheming to worm her way into the boss's good graces," one cackled, their laughter a jagged edge that sliced through the morning's hum, drawing smirks from the cluster of onlookers. Thuong's cheeks flamed with embarrassment, her voice a defensive mumble as she set the tray down. "It's just coffee, a simple gesture, nothing more," she protested, her eyes darting to avoid their probing stares. The teasing ebbed as Jack strode in, his presence a commanding force that silenced the room, his voice a blade of authority. "Where are Tuan and Hong? I need them now," he demanded, scanning the sea of faces with a piercing gaze. A coworker stepped forward, voice steady. "Down at the warehouse inspecting a fresh batch of materials. Should be back soon." He nodded briskly, his mind already racing. "Thuong, bring the expense sheets and last quarter's reports to my office. Don't keep me waiting." Across the vibrant pulse of the town, Tu Tien hauled her pumpkins to a bustling market, her stall a humble beacon amid the kaleidoscope of vendors hawking their wares under the morning sun. She approached a neighboring seller, her voice bright with a blend of hope and determination. "May I borrow your scale, please? I'm offering 4 kilos for 21,000 dong. Straight from my own soil, picked at dawn." Buyers began to drift over, drawn by her earnest pitch and the vivid oranges of her produce, their hands reaching with curiosity, her day unfolding with the promise of profit and the thrill of connection. She adjusted her display, arranging the pumpkins with care, her heart lifting with each interested glance, the market a stage where her labor took center spotlight. Back at the office, Jack's phone erupted with a call that jolted him from his chair, his heart pounding like a war drum as a key partner's voice boomed through the receiver. "We're ready to sign a landmark contract. Meet us at the downtown office now." Stunned, his breath caught as he processed the magnitude, grabbing Lon with a hurried whisper, "Let's move." They rushed to the rendezvous, the air thick with anticipation and the scent of opportunity. At the polished table, recognition hit like a thunderclap. The elderly woman his mother aided was the partner's mother, her frail form now a bridge to fortune, her eyes meeting his with a knowing nod. The CEO's face softened with a gratitude that warmed the room. "Your mother's compassion in saving my mother moved me to my core. I see integrity, talent, and a rare heart in you. That's why we're sealing this deal today. A partnership forged in honor." Papers rustled like autumn leaves as signatures flowed. The contract a golden milestone that promised to catapult Jack's firm into a new echelon of success. As they returned to the office, triumph pulsed in his veins, a victorious march shadowed by a flicker of unease, his sharp instincts catching the glint of unseen eyes watching from the periphery, a silent threat lurking in the wings. Jack's day blazed with a hard-won victory, while Tu Tien's market hustle crafted her own quiet legend. Yet the undercurrents of rivalry and secrecy begin to churn with dangerous intent. At the market, Tu Tien's stall thrummed with life, her pumpkins drawing an eager crowd at 5,000 dong per kilo, their vibrant hues a magnet for hungry eyes. "So sweet, so tender, and such a steal!" a customer raved, handing over crisp bills as others nodded, sampling the flesh with delight. Her basket emptied with astonishing speed, and she turned to a neighbor with a sheepish grin. "Can I borrow a bag? Mine's done for." The vendor obliged, and a buyer, short on change, tossed in an extra 1,000 dong with a chuckle. "Keep the change, worth every bit." Tu Tien's smile widened, her day a symphony of success amidst the market's lively din. As she packed up, Jack emerged from the crowd, his sudden presence a jolt that stopped her in her tracks. "Where are you headed?" he asked, his eyes searching hers with an intensity that made her heart skip. "Just back from market," she replied, brushing dirt from her hands, her voice tinged with surprise. His face lit up with a mix of pride and urgency. "I just sealed a massive deal. I want you at the company, Tu Tien. Come with me now." She froze, glancing at her mud-streaked clothes, her voice faltering. "I'm not dressed for that." He stepped closer, his tone a gentle command. "You're more than enough. Let's go, trust me." Hesitant but intrigued, she climbed into his car, her pulse racing with a blend of nerves and anticipation, the market fading behind them. Unseen, treachery coiled within the company's heart. A woman, Jack's private secretary, her demeanor icy, slipped into a shadowed corner, sliding a pilfered file from Jack's computer into the hands of a hulking man. "Here's the intel," she hissed, her voice a blade of betrayal. The man's grin was a predator's leer. "This'll sink Jack with the board. I've got you on my payroll, keep the secrets flowing." Her nod was packed with darkness, the air thickening with the stench of deceit as they plotted his downfall. At the office, Jack ushered Tu Tien through the glass doors, his voice ringing with pride. "Everyone meet Tu Tien. She'll join us soon, starting perhaps with cleaning." Whispers erupted like a storm, some admired her earthy beauty. "She's got a natural charm," while others sneered, "Looks like a peasant, out of place here." The buzz followed as he led her to his private sanctum, the tension a live wire between them. Inside, Jack's eyes softened with hope. "I want you here, working beside me." Tu Tien gazed at the sleek desk, her breath catching as she ran her fingers over its edge, then tentatively sat in his chair, a thrill sparking through her. It's like a dream, she whispered, her voice awed. Alone he leaned in, sharing his triumph. That contract's a turning point. She paused, then spoke with newfound resolve. I've wrestled with this. I want to work here, even just cleaning. I want to be near you, learn from this world, build a future I can be proud of. Joy flooded Jack's face, his voice a jubilant roar. That's incredible. I'll notify HR to set it up. Take a day or two to prepare. Her decision hung like a banner of courage, but the secretary's treachery loomed, a shadow ready to strike. The office a battlefield of ambition and betrayal. Tu Tien's bold leap into Jack's orbit marks a pivotal shift. Yet the web of deceit threatens to ensnare them.
Couldn't imagine spending this Thanksgiving with anyone I knew. Giving thanks was completely beyond me. I hoped that this week would help me heal. After 2 years of caregiving and trying to keep my business go at the same time, I felt like a burned out survival of war. I was just making time until I could join Jack. After all, at 54, what did I have to looking forward to? The future was black. The waiter approached my table asking if I needed anything. To my surprise, I said, yes, if you know anyone here who is a recent widow or widower, I would appreciate talking to her or him. Again, to my surprise,